swear to God, must be somebody in Colombia hacking our stuff. With that being said, though, right, let's jump back into the swing of things here. We're gonna obviously our listeners will come, or our viewers will come back in, but nonetheless, right? Nonetheless, taking away, right? Like obviously, I wanted to see multiple things happen Saturday, and I think we were able to see that, right? I like the fact that we were still able to operate our offense for the second week in a row with Beck in the with Beck under center. Uh, However, to the discredit here, um, it's one of those things where I still think that we could have been better. I think had Stetson done the things in the first time here, uh, had he done had he executed the right way, right? I definitely think you could uh, see Brock Vandergrift get in, and I don't, I think that's a testament to what we look like first half, right? There's some obviously some takeaways, and I have to be critical here, folks. We just do. You score 30 points in the first half and then three in the second. That's not a good recipe, right? Like I said, I'm not going to try to beat a dead horse, but it's something that you have to take into context here. If you're trying to repeat, as there's a good possibility that Georgia can, you have to execute for 4 quarters. You just have to. And when you don't, you show vulnerabilities, things like this, like right, like we don't know what the rest of the season will play out for us like, but we need to go out there and execute efficiently, right? So you probably piss some Oregon fans off because you're probably looking at Oregon fans are looking at us like, why couldn't you do that? Why couldn't you do what you did to us against them, right? You know, listen, I don't know exactly what changed there. However, listen, I think you'll definitely see a situation where um, you'll definitely see South Carolina game will probably be your different Georgia game. I just know that, right? You know, can you attribute what we saw Saturday to the weather, inclement weather, right? I don't know. I don't know. I got Michael Dudley here saying, "Go Dogs!" Hey, I can finally see the chat, folks. So we got that resolved. So if you're in the chat, I see you. Yeah, I want to get the brigade's thoughts here, right? I want to get the brigade's thoughts on the Saturday's games. What were your takeaways from your perspective? What did you like? What did you not like? Definitely want to get some perspective here from other folks. So feel free if you're in the chat, just drop your comments on the game, and we'll discuss that. Right? Definitely discuss that. But I definitely want to get back to, while we wait for people to respond. Listen, Georgia's number one. Right? Bama downplayed themselves into number two after Texas. Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about this. And I know this is a Georgia-Samford review. However, there wasn't really a lot to review. You just went in there, you won 33-0, right? We'll keep it's kind of high level for now. But I really want to break this down. Alabama just did not look good. And obviously it's through 2 weeks, and that's probably their worst game they'll play all season. But overreactions are interesting right now. It just is. It's going to be interesting, is all I'm going to say. So you have a situation where offensively it felt like the Auburn game last season. It really did. It really did. It had a mixture of Auburn and A&M games last season. If you're Bama, because you had a backup quarterback that was injured, playing most of the game, and played a really damn good game too, by the way. Um, yeah, so you had that right there. You had a lackadaisical offense for 3 quarters. It took Bryce Young in a Heisman moment type thing to come back and lead a last second field goal. Just didn't feel like the right. That could be their one game, right? You have to think Saban gets that back on track, right? You think? I don't know. Texas, in my opinion, probably wasn't their hardest game on the schedule either. So only time will tell. Only time will tell. So Michael Dudley is providing some updates here live. AD high ankle sprain, currently running per Kirby. Didn't seem worried, but doubtful for this week against USC. You know, and I think if we want to elaborate on this, I think AD is a huge part of this offense. But in a game against him, I don't necessarily know if you truly need him. I think you can still, there's a ton of weapons, right? Get Dylan Bell more reps. Jackson Meeks didn't do too bad in the absence, right? As the 6033 Project Pat says, go dogs. Hey, I can finally see you, Pat. But yeah, listen, AD Mitchell, obviously is going to be an integral part of this offense. There's no question about that. I think you see what the touchdown pass that could have been to Jackson Meeks. I think Stetson threw that anticipating the speed of AD Mitchell, because AD Mitchell, in my opinion, catches that. So there's an adjustment there. I don't think it, like Mike also said, I don't think it's necessarily super severe. So that's a plus, right, for Georgia trying to keep healthy. In South Carolina, I think you might see more running the ball, but obviously I want to save that for Wednesday's episode because we're going to do an in-depth preview there. But what we'll do here too, we'll let people talk in there, bring in their stuff as Joel Sanders comes in. Go Dogs. Alabama. Patrick might be the comment of the day so far. Alabama is struggle win you hashtag, since you didn't see it earlier. Oh, okay. Well then. Michael also mentions Mokaba and Strachan are out for South Carolina. We'll talk a little bit more about that Wednesday as well. But listen, that's key for Georgia moving forward this season, especially this week. And also, I think you look around the SEC, right? Well, since Mike did bring up South Carolina, they did play Arkansas. I felt like they may have given them a better game than what I thought they would, but South Carolina got ran all over, as to kind of be expected at this point. I thought their D line had stepped up, and they did. But let's be honest, I called Arkansas to bully them, and unfortunately, that's what happened. Listen, 295 yards rushing kind of tells me what I need to see. Listen, South Carolina did throw up some yards, but it was mainly passing yards. It makes me wonder if the offensive coordinator or whatever trusts the offensive line to run the ball. And you have to run the ball in the SEC to win games. And that, if I'm South Carolina, I'm a little bit concerned about that, right? I think going in, we kind of knew that was going to be the deficiency, right? South Carolina's deficiency was offensive line. It was terrible last year. So, listen, however, right, it's a new week, folks. So, Pat says here, I expect the chickens to be frisky in their house, but they'll still get battered and deep fried. We'll talk definitely more about that Wednesday. But overall, though, listen, it wasn't a bad showing, right? Like, it could have been better, but at the same time, still had Arkansas winning that game. But at the same time, you had, looking around, Ole Miss, did very well. Jesus, LSU just demolished Southern. I still think they lost the halftime show, but that's about it. That's about it. Mike Dudley says, okay, Georgia fans are worried about a running game with maybe it's just people expecting too, especially against the opponent. But at the same time, it's just one of those things where, you still got to go out and execute. So maybe it's something that the offensive line could do better. Right? I think, we didn't get a chance to necessarily run the ball in week one. So now we're kind of getting a kink out here, right? Getting some kinks out in week two. And listen, week three, I'd expect us to run the ball pretty much too. Considering what Arkansas just did, I think South Carolina's going to focus on trying to stop it. But I think moving forward throughout the week, you're going to see a good amount of run play. So I think you might see more of a balanced approach. Through 2 weeks, guys, we've been heavily offensive based out of the pass, right? Stetson threw for 368 alone in week 368 in week one alone, and then throws for 300 on the dot in week two, right? I think our most, obviously, week two was the most, but even then, you're looking at just over about not even 130. 130 yards rushing, and 300 over 300 passing. So, listen, we're this identity through 2 weeks. Statistically, heavy pass, heavy pass. Now, those passes you could also deem them as extensions of the running game, but they're what we're looking. This is why statistics can get very skewed, folks. Very skewed. We've seen a lot of jet sweeps and a lot of little shovel passes, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Stetson or the quarterback will just right to the running back or receiver, right in front of them, just little pop off, right? Just boop. That technically counts for a pass, so keep that in mind. But yeah, you're seeing right like extensions of the running game, spreading defenses out, right? Yeah, we saw that especially against Oregon, right? Running backs out of the backfield, just like little dinks and dunks out of the backfield, little bubble routes, right? But they're efficient, extremely efficient. I still want to see more under center tall sweep. That's just my preference. I'm a fiend for that kind of stuff. I really am. However, did anyone notice through 2 weeks, we have done a lot of counter. It seems like we are more of a counter team. Listen, I love it. I love it because they're showing off your athleticism with the pulling guards. And you know what? These the way we ran it, obviously back in week one. I'm gonna do this back in week one because it was so beautifully done. The delay takeoff, right? The delayed takeoff, it opens up so much more to this offense. I don't think people genuinely understand. I really don't. Listen, that delay, it triggers the backside end or the key, the backside edge. It kind of forces them to make a move, which opens up guys to play action off of that, or the bootleg from Stetson off of that, right? If you execute that the right way, I'm just saying, there's a reason why Stetson walked in basically against Oregon, executing those fakes. Simple as that. We also saw that, like, going back to week one, you had a situation where you do the bootleg out, right? And then if the edge stays, then you got to make a play, right? So we saw that Stetson can do that. Getting a prediction already. We're jumping ahead, folks. It seems like we're already trying to start Wednesday show early. Staquavius, motherfucking Bennett, is going to get 380 plus against the South Carolina. Oof. Oof. Not even mad. I wouldn't be mad about that one bit. Wouldn't be mad about that one bit. I just want to take another second, folks. We're talking about Florida, right, and Samford. But let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Didn't we see this coming? I mean, I was wrong. I guess I was wrong. I didn't see, apparently. So I'm going to go back on this. I was wrong. I picked Florida to beat Kentucky. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. Even when I'm wrong, I still succeed. You know why? Because Florida lost. It's that simple, folks. Florida lost. And whenever Florida loses, we always win, if you're a dog fan. Hashtag Gator Garbage, as Pat 63DG says. Exactly. UF is garbage. Just saying. It seems like we're getting some comments in this, and everything mid, right? All offensively. In all seriousness, though, their defense looked like it came to play. As much as that sounds. But boy, oh boy, Anthony Richardson Heisman hype already gone, folks. It's just that simple. The Heisman hype has officially left the building, as if anyone in Athens didn't see that coming from a mile away. It's that simple. It's that simple, folks. Listen. D-line, Michael's telling me position by position. D-line, okay. Cornerbacks, mid. Wide receivers, mid. Right above mid. So, let me see. Let's just get some more chats. Get some chat comments in. Listen, Florida losing is always fun. So, keep that in mind. Okay. Let's see. Did anybody see? So we'll talk about this. Juan is hopping on here in just a second. Um, I'm looking at this right here, and I just want to laugh because if this tells me anything about Alabama, Bama was supposed to beat them by 3 scores, beat Texas, and they won by 1 point. Makes you nervous, folks. If you're Bama fans, if you're listening, oh boy, oh boy. um, but enough about Bama, right? We've talked too much about that team, right? There's a reason why they're number 2. Um, Brigade, let me hear your thoughts on one specific game if you want to talk about it around the SEC. What surprised you? Did anything surprise you? Hell, we can even make it if you need to. DBs may cover 4 plays what you play in high school. I'm just saying. Oh boy, oh boy. So I'm going to leave it there. Um, we'll let Juan review. I know Juan was in California, by the way, over the weekend again, watching Ashton play. So maybe we'll let him talk about that game. That was one of my locks of the week. That was one of my plays over the weekend. That tweeted out. I went 1 for 2. So working on this, right? Working on this stuff, learning it, folks, learning it. And here we go, right there. Hold on 1 second, folks. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Juan Daniels. Welcome to the show, my man.
What's going on? What's going on?
Not
DGD
much.
Nation.
Hey, you know what? It feels damn good to be on top, don't it? Dogs
Yes,
on
sir.
top.
Yeah, it's about time. It's about
Yeah,
time.
it should have happened to begin with. Should have never
Yeah,
took us off,
yeah.
but here
Being
we are.
defending champions, yeah, you would think.
Alabama had that treatment. Clemson had that treatment. Why not Georgia? Listen, I know you were in California, so I'm gonna let you talk briefly. Let us know. Um, Obviously, South Carolina uh, did beat Stanford. However, what were your takeaways from that game? And if you have you had a chance to watch the Georgia game Saturday?
Yeah, so USC, they're a decent team. They're not great. They're not as number 5, I think, in the nation right now. We actually ran up and down the field on them. We just gave away a lot of points in the red zone. 2 fumbles and an interception that definitely hurt us. And then of course we threw another interception. So anytime that you're playing a team and you turn the ball over 4 times, it's just not gonna be great. You take a USC team and you run them through the SEC, they get absolutely smacked around. So they are not as great as the polls will have you tell it, but that's just my opinion, and I'm also talking from a hurt place too. Watching the Georgia game, and you do have people that were a little upset, and they're, oh well, they should have blown this team out. Just like I said on the podcast last Wednesday, Samford is not a bad team. They really aren't. I mean, they beat a good Kennesaw State team, and they played pretty well in their 2 wins. But at the same time, you don't need to blow the Samfords out of the world. You really just don't. I mean, one of the things that you want to do, if I'm running a top tier program, is get out of these games without getting hurt, get other players some experience, those ones that that you want to get some experience, and then again, just get out of there injury free so that you can prepare for your season. There's no reason to lose any valuable players or any sleep over a Samford team.
Yeah, we got some brigade comments coming in. Yeah, they scored 52 against Florida. I've mentioned that earlier. We can't let that slide and not bring that back up, because that shows you that they're not scared to go into any environment and play you, right?
Right.
As much as we want to shit on Florida, and rightfully so, right? They deserved everything last year.
Yep.
Like I said, to beat them 33-0, you still have to take away. Listen, that's another shutout, folks. That's 9 shutouts in Kirby Smart's tenure as a Georgia head coach, most in college football since
Right.
then.
Right.
So keep that in mind, right? Like, we played an ugly game and we still got a shutout.
Yep. Yep. So
So
I can't complain. Again, like I said, this team last year scored 55 points. They didn't score a single point. So did the defense do what they're supposed to do? Also, what that tells you, that, yeah, we lost a lot on defense, but boy, those boys, they come to play each and every game. So
yeah, the defense is still holding themselves up to that standard easily. right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
easily.
Exactly. So in 2 games, you give up 3 points, and then you give up 3 points to the number 11 team in the nation. I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that.
So, obviously, listen, I called him Michael Williams getting his first sack. He almost had two Saturday. I don't know if you remember that. If you went back and watched it, the play that Dan Jackson forced that fumble on,
Yep.
that was Mike Hill about having the sack right there.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I called he would get two sacks, and by God, I was damn close. I'm going to leave that there, folks. Listen, at the same time, you take away. Listen, I've already done enough bashing of this team. I think Kirby Smart about as much as anybody here, right? I was under the assumption, right after that game, my initial reaction was Kirby's going to come to this team in general. Even though the offense pitched a shutout or the defense pitched a shutout, he's still going to talk about complacency. He's going to preach it and instill it. In my opinion, I think you look at it as argument here, right? This coaching point is this is what happens with complacency creeps in. There's complacency here, and we can't. And that can't happen. My thoughts are South Carolina's in for a rude awakening Saturday because, in my opinion, while you pitched a shutout and you won 33-0, Kirby Smart's pissed the hell off, pissed the hell off, and he's going to have this team hungry for more. I mean, maybe you know more about it than I do. That's my thoughts. What are your thoughts on how you think Kirby handled this game and what his points are going to be moving forward from this?
Kirby knows. I mean, we play together. There'd be times we go and we lost an emotional game against Peyton Manning in Tennessee. Then we come back next week and we struggle against a New Mexico State. So to get up for the Samfords, the New Mexico States, all of these teams, I don't care how great of a team is, how great of athletes you are. It's just very difficult. I mean, it's almost like a glorified scrimmage, and it's really, really hard to get up for a game. It's raining. You want to get to those teams, the South Carolinas, the Floridas, and all of those teams. You just played a big time game against Oregon. So to come out, he knows. I mean, yeah, he's going to be mad and say, "Hey, let's not get complacent." But I'll take a complacent 33-0 victory versus what happened to Texas A&M and what happened to Notre Dame, and all the struggles of these other teams. For Alabama. I mean, Alabama, they should have lost. I mean, that's Texas just really, and I don't want to hear, obviously too. So, Texas can't come up with that. Oh, we lost our quarterback, just like Alabama. Oh, we lost our two receivers. You have to play, you have to take advantage, and they just blew their opportunities. And again, you're either elite or you're not. Alabama's elite. Everybody knows that Alabama's elite. It's tough to beat them. And that's the reason why is you can't come through in the clutch and put away a team that you should have knocked out.
Taking back to the Texas game, I didn't mention this earlier. There was a lot of receiver drops last Saturday or this past Saturday from them. Listen, in my opinion, right, I think what we're seeing is Bama trying to find that alpha dog, and they don't have that currently. They just don't. They just don't. You can't really. It's kind of unrealistic to have these expectations that anybody you bring in, like a Jermaine Burton or Harold from Louisville, is going to be the next JMO. JMO is just a special talent, just special talent. But listen, these drops, man, like it plagued him in the championship game, and it's transferring over. And with that being said, it's becoming a problem, right?
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
game is a one-off. You can look at one game as a one-off, just terrible timing. It's happened a couple times already, and to me, that it's when it becomes a trend, and 2 games is becoming a trend. 3 games, it's a problem.
Yep. Yep. I wonder
So
if old Jermaine Burton is kicking himself right now.
I'm not gonna bash a player, but I am questioning the business decision. Like it is
that,
what
that
it.
was just
Listen, it
not
is
very
what it
smart.
is.
That was not
Like
very smart. But I'm thankful though, because we don't need, if you want to go chase glory, you want to go chase stats, then go ahead. You're not a part of this program. And so now the more and more we talk about as Georgia goes through this season, I think that they will get stronger. They'll get better. Kirby's going to have them ready. So when we get to that SEC championship, I do strongly believe that we are going to beat Bama in that SEC championship. defensively, we are out of this world. We have a better defense than Texas does, and I can promise you, we're going to have a better offense than Texas does with their backup quarterback card. So I'm ready.
Absolutely. Now, I'll tell you this. So if you're not able to see this one, YouTube subscriber, Black Adonis is cooking you, boy, like App State.
Uh,
Black Adonis is cooking. He's cooking you like App State
Let me
cook.
see if I can look at it. Oh, there we go. I got these chats now.
There it is. So I'm just
My
letting you know.
man.
So apparently, for those listening, welcome to Everyday Brigade Chat here. Black Adonis, Ron Juan rocking the flower dip beard. Yeah, listen.
God, he said it was blending in my shirt and my undershirt. Oh man, that's great. That's great.
Mike Dudley didn't even say a word. He just did an emoji that got me a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
jumping into Santa Claus, man.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, that's great.
Oh my goodness.
That's great.
Oh goodness. It didn't take long once Juan got in to make him laugh.
Oh yeah,
When he-
yeah. That was instantaneous.
oh boy. Oh boy. But not so, I'm looking at it this way, Ron. Like, we had been talking about this all off season. And this is why playing games on the field matters too much, or it matters all much more than anything you see on paper. We've been talking about this 12-0 regular season, lost in the SEC championship game. Listen, after 2 weeks, and listen, I understand you could be overreacting after 2 weeks. I get it. I get it. But you have to take into context that there is a good chance that the Wild West in the SEC is literally wide open. I still think it's Bama's to lose. However, it is wide open. Wide open.
Yeah.
Arkansas doing their part so far, right? LSU took an L to Florida State. However, bounced back and throttle Southern. We'll see what happens moving forward. Listen, if things don't change, we might not be playing Bama in the SEC title game. We might be having a discussion, after the Georgia Tech game, where we're previewing somebody that we didn't even think.
Yep. Just like Michael said, nobody's talking about Ole Miss.
Yeah,
Ole Miss and don't count out Mississippi State. And I think now for Bama, the blood's in the water, and everybody's looking at it like, hey, listen, we're not afraid. If Texas can battle you, with their backup quarterback, we've got a chance. There is no dominant receiver. I'll tell you what, though, Gibbs is that running back is pretty dang good. He's top notch. But you stop him, and Bama really struggles.
See, my thought is this though. Yeah, while you're talking about Jameer as being one of their big guys, I still need to. Is one of the things I think people are overlooking here is when are they going to run the damn ball between the tackles? Like you need that, don't you?
Yeah. Well, one would think.
I mean, one would think. I mean, I get it. One would think, but at the same time, and this is why I think it'll be interesting if Georgia and Bama play. Bama has the ability to get him out in space, right? But Georgia, to counter that, has linebackers that are faster than last year. They're faster and will be experienced by that time. So, listen, while Alabama's offensive play calling and personnel is a totally different ball game for what Jahmyr Gibbs experienced at Georgia Tech, I wouldn't say render him useless. I ain't gonna go that far by any means. We'll see if that's the case. But if I'm Georgia, you're betting on the speed to stop it, right? Small London, right? Small London playing on that, Jesus Christ. Chris Smith coming down, right? Like you better hope if you're Alabama that you get your receivers room situated and quick. Because, I don't even know who they got this week, but yeah, you got Texas. You play Texas. We saw some vulnerabilities, right? Some vulnerabilities easily. Then after this week, then you start looking into conference play, right? Like Tennessee, what's Tennessee going to look like? Like if they have, are they going to be able to? Is Bama going to be able to hold run the ball up and score like that against Tennessee? Not saying Tennessee's going to win, but you have to score offensively to do stuff like that, right? Okay, so Pat's letting us know that they're playing Louisiana Monroe this week. So this is I do not want to be Louisiana Monroe.
She did,
Oh,
Michael. She did. I saw it.
oh,
I witnessed it.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
I was on
Grandma,
I was on the sleigh when she got ran over.
you murderer. So anybody
Oh,
listening, Mike Dudley's asked Juan if he's been wondering this for years. Did Grandma get ran over by a reindeer?
oh,
Boy, oh boy! I didn't realize it was Christmas in
it's
September.
tough, man. It's tough.
Listen, we just went through Christmas Eve on opening day, right? Christmas Day.
Yeah,
I didn't realize Christmas was still coming up.
it is.
Could
They're
have.
enjoying themselves today. They don't want me to be great, obviously. So here we
Boy,
are again.
they making you look like Bama yesterday.
Yeah,
Subpar. Oof.
right, right.
Oof. Simple as that. So I'm just saying, folks, if you're not listening, if you're listening in on the podcast, boy oh boy, y'all miss the live chat every day. This hopefully this is entertainment for y'all because it is for me.
Yeah,
It is for me. It is for
yeah.
me. Um,
Patrick said we got to stick together. Hashtag flower dip beards.
I'm
I'm
telling you right
talking
now
about
that
Patrick.
the brigade. Listen, the brigade is the hashtag kings, fam. That's
Yeah,
what it is. It's the
yeah.
hashtag. So, and then Rajon Johnson here on Facebook actually says that Texas got screwed. I want to say he brought up a comment earlier too, if I can find it, about this, about the Georgia game. He said Samford played with their hair on fire. Georgia protected the ball and played a vanilla book. Kind of, yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. You're not wrong, Rajon.
Yep.
You're not really wrong at all there. And like I said, I think this way ultimately, right? Since this is the review, um, I think there's a lot to take away from here, a lot to critique, but there's some positives to take away from this, right? Defense still playing, where we need to be, up to that standard, right? And the thing is, they can still get better. That's the scary part. If I'm anybody else in the country, period, you're looking 3 points through 2 games, and still ways to improve with experience, and it's just crazy because one, if I'm not mistaken, there was a lot of people saying that we were going to drop off significantly on defense, and so far through 2 games, that's the key word there. Through 2 games, that hasn't been the case.
Yeah. I mean, not at all. I mean, they seem to be getting stronger. But the difference between this Georgia team and Georgia teams of the past, like the Mark Richt era, you would have a game against Samford and it'll be a 24-10, or it'll be something where, they're just kind of struggling throughout the game and they could just never, ever give it over the hump. But again, you give me a complacent game of 33-0, I'll take that all day because Texas A&M did not survive it. Neither did, neither did Notre Dame. They didn't survive it. And then you've got other teams that, that got upset, and you're just kind of like, wow, it was a crazy, crazy weekend of college football. It really was.
I'm telling you, this has the 2007 vibes all inside of this, Phil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, I'm scared if I'm Georgia because, listen, we're a fan base of superstition, folks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, up until we won that national title, man, it's always been these superstitions, right? Like never wear, like we don't want to wear the black like that, like alternate jerseys, like you name it, we've heard it. But so far, the entirety of college football has a 2007 vibe. However, there's one difference this year, and so far, right through 2 games, I can't keep preaching that enough because it's only been 2 weeks. It shit that's gone on so far. One, you would expect it to happen rivalry week.
Yep. Yep.
Period. Like just period. Here we are 2 weeks into the season, and you've had your preseason number 5, number 6, number 11, you name it, have fell. And hell, Notre Dame, and we'll see Notre Dame completely out. Texas A&M fell all the way down to 8 or 18 or something like that.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
But now,
boy,
so it started off preseason where people were saying it's Alabama, Georgia, and then there's a huge drop off and it's everybody else. And for me, it's Georgia. Then there's a drop off, big time drop off, and then it's Alabama and everybody else. I think if you line Georgia up right now against Alabama, or if you would have lined them up against Alabama on Saturday, we would have absolutely smoked them. Alabama just looked bad. And again, defensively, we are much better than Texas. Offensively, we're much better than Texas. Even if they had Quinn Ewers, we are still much better than Texas and what they came out there with. So I do believe that it's Georgia. The only thing that's going to be and I would almost put right now Michigan maybe in front of Alabama, because Michigan is playing some good football. I
Yeah,
just don't.
they also haven't played anybody.
Yeah,
Yet.
they hadn't played anybody, but also
So we keep that
Ohio
in mind.
State is just not impressive. Clemson is definitely not impressive. But yeah. But okay, so Black Adonis looking way ahead after Stetson leaves. How confident are y'all in the QB room? Beck is a stud, but we can't have another Joe Cox year. Right. You're right. You're 100% right, and I do think that it's going to be, one of those things where you'll have Beck, and then I think it's going to be Gunnar Stockton. From what I heard, when it comes to Brock Vandergriff, that he's just not going to be an FBS quarterback. They just said he's just not smart enough. He's talented enough, but with the reading, the coverages, and all that, it just doesn't look like he's going to be that guy. So also too, think about it. Last year, Georgia did not take anyone out of the portal. Depending on Kirby's confidence in Beck and also in Gunnar Stockton, look for them to look at, somewhere through the portal, because they could pretty much get any quarterback they want. Because right now, who doesn't, as a quarterback, want to come and play for the Georgia Bulldogs? Especially with the talent that they have. You got the best tight end room on the planet. So I would say, even though, like I said, Beck, Gunnar Stockton are not necessarily those big marquee names that you're looking at, look for them to go to the portal, because the way that things are going this year and the downs that they're, everything that's taking place, look for Georgia to pick up a sleeper in the transfer portal.
I'll tell you this. I'll answer that question. Carson Beck's rocking a mullet. I don't know if you saw that Saturday. Carson Beck's rocking a mullet. I don't have any. I have all the confidence in the world, and it's because of the mullet, man. I'm serious.
the Quinn Ewers mullet.
Nah, it's different. It's different. It's different. His shit looks like you would find out in Texas. Like Carson's got some class with a mullet. I ain't even a bullshit there one.
Yeah.
Shit look crisp. Like you put some Dapper Dan in that shit.
Yeah.
I ain't even mad about that. Right? Athens cut some guys up the right way. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Final thoughts. Let's put the Samford game to bed right here, right now. Final takeaways, and then we're going to wrap this thing up.
As far as the takeaway, again, give me a complacent 33-0 victory. I'll take it all day. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We came out of there injury-free, and we did. We played vanilla football, and let me just tell you right now, South Carolina is going to be in for an absolute beatdown.
I broke character. My God. Black Adonis coming in hot. Juan, could you grow a mullet? # bald since 1910. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. Make Juan mullet. Okay, I see what's going on. Yeah, I mean, up here, it's not going to happen, but down on the sides, I may be able to see if I can try to work something out. I'm gonna try to do that for you, Black Adonis.
All right, so we'll wrap this thing up here, but preview, Rajon. USC junior crowd will be quiet after. We're going to have an in-depth preview about that. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Was not expecting.
Black Adonis gets the championship for sure today.
God almighty, man. Damn, he caught me off guard today.
Yeah.
With that being said, remember, go check out Alumni Hall, folks. Like I said, 10 minutes away from campus. www.alumnihall.com. Also, we are now sponsored by BetUS. Remember, just a reminder for that. You'll see the changes this upcoming Wednesday on our weekly picks. I broke it down a little bit earlier. We'll break it down again Wednesday just in case. And if you want to sign up, you can get 125% cash bonus. Go to our website, dgdpodcast.com, and you can get that bonus. So when you sign up and make a deposit, you should be able to get 125% bonus as well. So go check it out. Make some money. Hey, listen, these picks, folks. I'm telling you, USC 9.5 against Stanford. Sorry, Juan, but you got to make some money off of it,
Oh
man.
yeah. Hey, I'm not
That
mad
was
at you at all.
that was
I'm not mad
that
at
was
you at all.
listen. I'm not too much on betting. However, that was easy money. Seeing that
That
9.5
was.
spread, that was
Yeah.
easy money.
That was easy
So
money.
with that being said, right? One, it was great to have you back. Great to have you back on after your trip. I'm glad you made it home safe. Um, like I said, it's going to be a terrible week to be a damn Gamecock. I'm going to leave it there. Um, other than that, though, guys, let's wrap this thing up. With that being said, tune in Wednesday for the show, and have a great day. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.